Okay, I've got my spoilboard working now. I got the T-Track off Amazon. They were pretty cheap, but I got, like I said, I got 24 of them. The way I decided to do it, I did it like another gentleman on YouTube. He did Corbin Dunn. He overlapped, same thing I did here, on this board. Cut a little dado right there to fit right over the edge of the T-Track. Just like that. So that way, of course, you got your screws holding it down in the center, but those aren't always the strongest. And this way, you have the MDF that's on top also holding it down. So I'll have the screws in it, but I also have screws in the MDF that are countersunk, so that way it doesn't interfere with any cuts or anything. But I cut all these slats so that way I can replace them at any time that I need to. I started this one 1 3/4 from the front because I wanted one towards the front, but I'm going to put something on the edge there to create a corner. Most of these are 3.5 inches. But as I got further down, I went ahead and started making them 4 inches. So we're evenly spaced all the way through there. I think what I'm going to do is, I've got some of the T-Track bolts and everything, but I don't like the way the bolts stick up that high. So I'm going to buy some T-Track nuts that go in here, so I can just screw stuff down to it and put my anchors in and everything else. Eventually, I'll probably get some dogs, and when I get the dogs, I'm going to put them, I'll use the CNC to cut the slots for the dogs for continuous layout of things. But right now, I'm sitting at the 4x8 sheet. So it's coming out pretty nice. So I'm gonna start screwing this down. Probably not gonna show that. I'll show it when it's done. No one wants to see me screw a bunch of screws in. So that's how it's going so far. So far, so good. Okay, what I didn't show you on that video a little while ago was the fact that I did get the spoolboard and everything down, but I didn't like the way it looked. I didn't like the way it sat on here. It was a little crooked. So what ended up happening, my gantry was off just probably a 1/16 of an inch. And I was trying to straighten it up, and I had a hard time straightening it up, so I contacted the manufacturer again. They literally just remoted into the computer, was able to adjust one of my stepper motors, got everything perfectly aligned. So I took everything I had back off because I didn't like it. And I asked him while I was on the phone with him, I was like, we put in there that when we set up VCARB, that the cutting surface was 48 by 96. I said, but there's a lot of real estate left on the table. So he told me I could adjust that. So what I ended up doing is actually making it 50 inches by 105 inches. So I can actually cut things 50 inches by 105 inches. So that way, if I put a sheet of plywood up there, I don't really have to be in this particular spot, as long as I'm in the general area. So what I ended up doing was taking all this back out, and another sheet of MDF, which I realized that's expensive, but I can still use those other slats. I put everything on 5-inch centers, so all of them are 5 inches apart. So I was able to cut fence out, cut a couple cams out, so I could use it very similar to what I did with my Shapeoko. And still I have enough real estate left on this sheet that if I stick a sheet of plywood in the middle, I can still fasten it on the edges. So I redid all that and I resurfaced everything. So now I have a fence to work off of. and cams, and I'm getting some hold downs, so I should be good to go. What I did on my dust collection, I got my extension for my pipe coming out here, and then I ran my hose. Got it hung up with literally those are screen door springs that I got at home from. So it does a pretty good job of keeping the hose up out of the way, so everything can run. So right now everything is set up pretty nice. I like the way it's set up. I'm getting ready to start working with it.